Back in 2013, I had a friend named Mike, and Mike had a roommate, James. Now, James invited me to go to Virgin Festival. Not that kind of virgin, you dirty boy. Virgin is in the multi-billion-dollar company owned by philanthropist Richard Branson. So when he told me he had an extra ticket and asked if I wanted to go, I said, what could go wrong? So the day of the festival came and he brought his tall, shady friend along, someone I had never met before. 2-hour drive later, we finally arrive and I get out of the car. Now, I'm sitting outside of the car waiting for them to also get out of the car, but they don't. And so I give them a minute and I'm like, what the heck are these guys doing? Then the shady friend put something in the glove box. And when they got out of the car, I asked James, did you just do something illegal? And he's like, yeah, we just ate mushrooms. And that's when I realized that this was a terrible idea. That was nightmare number 1. I mean, I was pissed because they were my ride home and we were out in the middle of nowhere. Now, James reassured me that the effect would only last a few hours, and by the time we were ready to leave, that he would be sober and everything would be okay. I didn't like it at all, but I figured, hey, I got my phone on me. Worst comes to worst, I can call another ride. I'm gonna go enjoy myself at the festival and we'll see what happens. The festival was split into 3 areas: the main stage, a country music area, and rave forest. Now, at the time, I was a rave dancer. Yes, you heard that right. One of my previous lives used to be a rave dancer, and I was good at it. So, considering that's what I was most interested in, I spent the majority of my time in rave forest. Now, at this point, James and his shady friend are starting to feel the effects of the mushrooms and they want to go explore. I told them I'm going to stay in rave forest. I'm going to hang out here. You guys go do your thing. I'm just going to dance and have a good time. Just make sure you come back here and find me. Now, what I didn't know is that since we were in the middle of nowhere, our phones were constantly roaming for service, which drained the battery insanely fast. And within just a couple hours, my phone was dead. That was nightmare number 2. Now I'm in the middle of nowhere, my phone is dead, and my ride is tripping on mushrooms. Great. So I decided to make the best of it, and I go up to the bar and I order a drink. They got this specialty drink called an Orange Crush. It sounds delicious, and I get myself a few of those. I started dancing, drinking, talking to people, listening to the electric music. It was a freaking blast. This was pretty much the entirety of my 20s. Drinking, dancing, and meeting people. Now, near my house, there was this dance club called the Electric Rose, where I spent most of my weekends. The bouncers even knew me. It'd be a Saturday night, and I'd walk up to the front. There'd be this huge line of people, and the bouncer would be like, hey, yo, Dance Fever.
You son of a...
Yeah, that's right. They nicknamed me Dance Fever. And they just let me into the club. It was awesome. So I'm slamming these Orange Crush drinks. I'm dancing. I'm having a blast. And these 2 girls walk up to me. And one of them asks, hey, what's that drink you're having? It looks delicious. And I'm like, this is an Orange Crush. She's like, can I try it? And I said, okay. So I'm handing her the drink and then I stop. And I'm like, wait a minute. How old are you? I'm 17. Away from me, heathens! Did I mention that this festival was open to all ages? Now, several times throughout the day, I'd bump into James and his friend, but they would literally vanish like ninjas seconds after seeing them. I would grab James and I would say, my phone is dead, you're tripping on shrooms, we're in the middle of nowhere, do not leave my side. Okay, and then I'd turn and I'd say, hey, I think the Black Eyed Peas are playing on the main stage, wanna go check it out? And when I turn back, they were gone. Night falls, and there is no sign of James or his friend. Now I start worrying that I'm not gonna be able to make it home. It was 7 p.m. at this point and the festival ended in 2 hours. I wasn't even sure if James was still there. So at this point I'm like, okay, my phone is dead. Why don't I just go back to the car, sit and wait. Even if they come out at the end of the festival at 9 o'clock, I'll be waiting there, I can get a ride home. I really don't have any other options at this point. Lo and behold, they hadn't left yet, the car was still there. So I sat and I waited. And waited. I'm getting anxious. I'm dehydrated from drinking all of those Orange Crushes earlier. I need water. I walk up the street 2 blocks to see if I can see a gas station, but there's nothing in sight. And when I return, the car is gone. I start freaking out. In that 3-minute window I left the car, they got in, left, and abandoned me. I was now in deep deep trouble. So I run back to the festival and I start talking to all these taxis, buses, asking anyone if they can take me back to my area. Now keep in mind, I live 2 hours away. And so that the odds that any of these buses or anything are going any even remotely close to my home neighborhood is incredibly slim. And also, none of them would take me. So now it's 9 p.m. The festival has one final show and then it closes. Skrillex. I looked up at the moon, pondering, completely unsure of what was to come of me. There was only two options: frantically search for a way home, possibly bribing festival goers to give me a ride, or I go back to Rave Forest, dance my heart out, and let the universe decide my fate. Universe, take me away. So I go back to Rave Forest and I dance hard. I shuffle harder than I had ever shuffled before. I swam in that moment and just accepted that the universe would sort things out. And that's when the universe spoke to me. Jake! I turned around to see an unfamiliar girl running towards me. Hi? You're that guy that's always dancing at Electric Rose, right? The world froze for an instant. I stared at her, blank-eyed. Electric Rose was the dance club near my house. If she saw me there, she might live in my city. I grabbed her cheeks and threw my face into hers. How are you getting home? This, my friends, is where the universe saved my life. Oh, I came here on a party bus with 20 friends. We're all gonna leave in a few minutes to go back to Electric Rose. What do I have to do to get on that bus? Give Brad $20, tell him I said you can ride with us home. Done, done. I paid the man $20 and we all hopped on the bus. Instead of putting myself in a dangerous situation with two characters I would never associate myself with again, I'm in a party bus with 20 people, 10 guys, 10 girls. We're slamming beers, taking shots of whiskey, blasting music, and it was the best ride home ever. The bus literally dropped us off 1 block from my house. I go to my bed and fell asleep with a smile. It just goes to show you that sometimes no matter how much you feel like the entire world, the entire universe is against you, there is a plan for all of us. Yeah, maybe I got really lucky. But if you ever feel hopeless, just remember that things usually do sort themselves out. At that moment, if I had decided to just keep running around the taxi stands, asking people, begging people to take me home, I probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere. But because I decided to go back and dance and release my worries into the wind, the universe saved me. And sometimes that's just how you have to approach life. Worrying doesn't solve anything. I hope you guys enjoyed this Storytime animation. This is something that I'm trying to roll out more on this channel, and if you did like it, please let me know in the comments and leave a thumbs up. Thank you guys, and I'll be talking to you very soon. Peace.